Me growing up with my older brother and my mom, we struggled a lot. We just couldn't make ends meet. My mom was working all the time, and we still didn't have money to pay the bills and things like that. And so my brother moved out, and then it was just me and my mom for a while, and we were fine, not great, but fine. And then my little sister was born, and so I'd already calculated in my head, my mom can take care of one child, not two. So like my brother, I decided to move out as well. So I was 15 years old, decided to move out from my mom's house and live it on my own, and actually did that quite successfully, in my opinion. I rented an apartment, I stayed in school, I didn't miss a day of school, and I had a job at a peanut company, roasting peanuts and selling them at the Superdome and Jazz Fest. Well, the state found out, or somebody found out, and reported me to Child and Family Services, and they were planning, at 17 years old, they were planning to put me into foster care. Of course, I'm freaking out. I'm like, I've been taking care of myself for a year and a half, 2 years. Why is this? In the mix of them trying to do that, they introduced me to a program called Boys Hope, Girls Hope in New Orleans. And this program takes in children who need help. You literally live in a house with someone who spends a year of their life being a mother. And with that program, I didn't have to go into the system. And so I decided to do that. And 3 days after me joining this program, Katrina came around. And so instead of having this well-structured, organized plan for the rest of my high school career, I was on the road with this woman I just met a week ago, and two other kids who I didn't know, but they were in the program before me. And so she was able to just hang out with us, talk with us, love on us. She said, hey, there's too much going on. I'm not about to take these kids and be displaced for however long, but she decided to step up and do it. And her faith was just strong throughout the whole time. She went to mass, she prayed rosaries, never wavered with her faith. And that was just crazy to me, because I've always seen people in times of stress and crisis abandon all that, and just, I got to do this, and put their heads down and get things done. And I kind of thought that's how you had to do it. Like, God is great and all, but you got to put your head down and get it done. You're not supposed to just sit back and pray or something, And so seeing that example in her really sparked way more questions, but then she was able to either answer them or get me answers. And it just developed that great bond. And so I asked her to be my godmother when I decided to become Catholic, and she jumped at it. Converting to Catholicism, the Eucharist obviously was, as most converts, one of the biggest hurdles, I would say, because it's one of the main things that no other religion really gets behind. For me, logically, like I said, my conversion was first logical and then emotional. It made sense on paper to me, from the scriptures and from the classes in RSAA talking about it. I was like, this makes sense, but I don't quite get it. I don't get it emotionally. I don't get it, like, what's the big deal? Why is everybody so freaked out about this? It kind of makes sense to me. God can do anything. This is what he decided to do. Makes sense. It wasn't until probably a year or two into being Catholic, when I went to UL, I went to Wisdom, just being in that cocoon of Catholic friends, I started seeing God in a different way, started seeing Jesus in a different way, and started really kind of seeing Jesus in the Eucharist. And it blossomed in such a way that I didn't even realize it was happening. And at one point, I was just like, this is incredible. I was going to Mass every single day. Like, I was asking if I go to Mass twice a day. It was just some kind of like amazing connection of God putting something physical that we can accept, that's truly his presence. Like, that was humbling. Like, I would ask, hey, should I go to confession for like jaywalking before I accept the Eucharist? This is crazy that I'm able to accept the Eucharist at all, but I wanted to do it in like the most perfect way possible. I finally had to overcome that a little bit, but to me, it was just an amazing example of God's love for us, and the ability to accept that in a physical way, and for it to mean something so much more than what it looks like. I grew up with a lot of different struggles and a lot of different things going on, and everyone always judged it based on what they saw. And I knew, okay, it's not always what you see. It could be something completely different. And for that to be true in my faith, and for that to be true with the Eucharist, it was just an amazing, eye-opening thing for me. So like it happened over time. I can't pinpoint the exact time that it happened. I know it happened while I was at Wisdom and while I was going through more formation with my Catholic faith. But at some point, I just fell in love. It was amazing and hasn't really gone away. Like as you get older and a lot more things happen, but just still it astounds me every Sunday being able to accept the Eucharist. It blows me away.